Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tips and Tricks Tuesdays with me, Valentina Vee. I am a filmmaker, cinematographer, editor in Los Angeles, and I'm here to help you make your editing faster, to make you just more efficient in your edits for your YouTube channel or for social media or what have you. Now, before we get started, I have made notes for this entire live stream. It's a full PDF breakdown, and you can see the whole thing if you go right here, adobe.ly/tips Tuesday. So go ahead and go to adobe.ly/tips Tuesday and check out that site where you can download all of that information. It's going to be super helpful, I think, to you in following along with this stream. Also, we have a contest going on at Adobe right now with the one and only Marshmallow. It is the Be Kind video contest. Here is some information about it. And basically, you can go to the Adobe website and check out the contest, enter, and you could win up to $10,000. Here's some information about it that I'm putting up on the screen right now. Today, I will be using a bunch of the assets from the contest in order to do my tutorial today. So you'll learn how to do a bunch of things with the assets from the contest. Also, I am so happy that I have a friend joining me today. Her name is Taylor Tracy, and she is a rock star music video and commercial editor. I don't know if you've heard of Ariana Grande at all, or Demi Lovato or Jason Derulo, but if you have heard of them, you've probably seen their videos and seen Taylor's edits. So I want to bring her on right now. Please welcome Taylor Tracy. Hey, Taylor.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for jumping on this with me. I just wanted to chat, get your feedback on a couple things.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Where are you located, first of all?
Right now, I'm in my office, Cabin Edit in Santa Monica, and it is a little bit of a refresh because I have been working from home a lot lately, as I'm sure a lot of us have. But it's nice to be back, have all my monitors and my coffee machine.
How many monitors do you have?
I have 3 monitors. Gets a little crazy, but I'm fine with just my one iMac at home too.
Same. So I wanted to ask you, what does the typical music video turnaround time look like from when they finish shooting the music video to when you have to deliver the edit?
It's a little crazy. I mean, sometimes it can be 2 to 3 weeks, or it could be 5 days. And I've actually had a lot of the higher end videos be closer to that 5-day mark.
Wow, that's really quick. I feel like that's kind of similar to a YouTube video turnaround. At least I know back when I was making YouTube videos, that was like, we only had 5 days. We were making a video every time. So when it comes to trying to make your work more efficient and trying to make your work faster, what is something that has helped you in your editing?
I think for faster, definitely using a pancake timeline technique. So I can have all my selects on one timeline and then the actual edit right underneath in another timeline. And it's super fast to just grab one piece and drag it down and put it into the edit rather than switching between all of the windows and trying to remember which window I had open. You can just click and drag.
That's something I feel like a lot of people, when they're starting out with Premiere, they don't know, because in a lot of other programs, you can't just drag around the windows and change their size and position. And people don't think that, hey, it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to necessarily have just one timeline on your screen. You could have 2 timelines. You can be dragging clips from one timeline to the other. And that's why it's called pancake editing, because it's like they're stacked like pancakes.
Yeah. Like hotcakes.
As far as thinking about the edit itself, when you were just starting out, what is something that you wish that you knew, or what is something that you wish that you current Taylor could tell past Taylor? Like, please pay attention to this when you're editing.
I think definitely I've learned to have a lot more purpose with my edits. Back in 2013 and 14, when I first started editing music videos, I was working a lot with Cash Money, the record label. I was working a lot with Lil Wayne and Nicki and all of those super flashy, exciting, fast cuts. And I was really focusing on just finding little bits to make it cool and make it fast. And now I've learned that it's okay to take your time with the edit, and it's okay to find shots or camera movements or lighting cues that influence the other shot coming right after it or previous to it. So I think it's more about finding that motivation rather than just making something look cool.
When thinking about what to place before and after the cut point or the edit point, or whatever you want to call that place between clips, how the previous clip ends and how the next clip begins, what are some things that editors can keep in mind? I know for me personally, I like to focus on if there's some kind of match cut between the composition. Like if there's like a round circle in the before the cut, maybe I could find like a round circle in the middle of after the cut and like cut between, or like I think a lot of people start with they're just editing just to put something together. They're not really thinking about the art of the cut. What do you think about that? Do you use any kind of like match cuts, anything to tie your edit together?
For sure, match cuts. I love match cuts, and also transitioning and matching camera movements I find is really helpful, not only to motivate the edit, but to make it feel maybe like it's all one shot. So, you know, if your camera is panning left to right, you would want to find a similar shot that is equally as good, maybe in a different setup, that continues that movement across the screen.
Do you ever cheat it? Because I 100% do, where maybe the shot I want doesn't have the right to left movement, but it could still work in reverse. So I'll like reverse the shot, or I'll like flip it horizontally if there's no text.
Yes, yes, for sure. Those are like the sneaky tricks that I do. And then when I see them, I like, it's a little win inside, and I hope no one else finds out.
How about when you are dealing with a music video, when there's lyrics involved? How would you go about, you know, prepping your edit, prepping your timeline for that?
Yeah, so for music videos, I definitely sync everything first. And that means syncing every single take of every single setup. So it could be anything from a simple ballad that only has 15 layers to a full-on performance video that has 95 layers. So there are some different ways to consolidate that, but it can get pretty hefty.
Wow, 95 layers? Is that the most layers you've ever had, or have you gone more intense?
I've gone more intense. I think back, it was a few years ago, but Premiere used to put a 99 layer limit on their sequences. So there was one time I actually had to work across 2 sequences because I had more than 99 layers. But yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
Do you ever do subsequences like for scenes or something like that, just to like make it easier for you to look at things?
Yeah, for sure. Especially with my selects bins, I like to kind of separate things into each setup, so I'm not having to be overloaded with this mass amount of footage to look at.
Before I go on and ask you your next question, I just want to remind our viewers, if you are just tuning in, this link right here, adobe.ly/tipstuesday, that is where you can get all of the documentation and notes for this entire live stream that I'm about to do with you guys, the entire tutorial I'm about to show you. So go ahead and check that out. Thanks, Taylor, for waiting. I figured, you know, there's a couple more people in the chat room, so I should tell them about it. What has been like one of your favorite projects that you've worked on recently?
That's a good question. I'd say, well, it's not so recent. It's about a year old. It was a Katy Perry and Zed music video called 365.
Yes,
and
I remember that one.
I mention it because kind of going back to our our little bit about like motivation and edits with purpose. That one, the director, Warren Fu, he was absolutely genius with pre-planning everything, storyboarded everything, so much to where he could time lighting cues. So a lot of the edit was motivated by certain lighting cues, that, you know, a red light would come up during the bridge. So I know, like, I can't use a red lit setup during the pre-chorus because that just wouldn't make sense. So that was probably one of my absolute favorite ones.
As a director, I think it's such a height of luxury if I get to have the time to make storyboards. Like, I would love to storyboard everything. Sometimes I do, because sometimes, like you were saying, the camera whip in and out, you have to storyboard that because you have to know where you're whipping out from, where you're whipping in from, to have that kind of consistency. And even if it's not even a storyboard, but just like a shot list where you write the camera movements in, that is super helpful to me. But a lot of the time, it is just constructed in the edit. You know, you try to do your best, and then it's the editor that takes it away, which is why I'm so impressed with everything that you do, because I'm genuinely a fan of so many of your edits. And you've taught me a lot with your Timeline Tuesdays. So thank you for that.
Of course. Oh my gosh, I'm blushing.
As far as, you know, when you are editing with music, when you are editing something that has lyrics, something that you need to plan out, is there any way that you organize your timeline or indicate to yourself like where things should go?
Yeah, I love markers and I love extended markers. So when I go to sync, or even when I'm in my editing sequence, I will do extended markers through the different parts of the song. So like the first chorus can be purple, second verse could be, you know, blue, whatever. And so it just kind of turns into this like rainbowed popsicle stick of markers across the whole timeline, but it's just easy to see where I'm at.
What I love about markers is that when you write in, like you can it's not just a marker that says marker 1. You can write in what that marker is, and you can
Mm-hmm.
literally write the lyrics of the song in there. So
Yes.
you don't have to scrub and scroll and like listen and like be like, oh, where did that line start? Because you can literally split it up by lines. And the other cool thing about markers is that you can snap, like if you turn snapping on, you can
Mm-hmm.
snap your footage to those markers, so you don't have to like
Yeah.
be fighting for where to find it. It's really cool.
I haven't even thought of writing the lyrics in the markers. I'm going to try that. That's really smart.
Okay, I deserve
Credit to
credit for that. Okay.
Valentina.
You can, so markers, and I'll show this during this live stream, but markers, you can title the marker, but you can also write there's a comment box in the marker where you can write whatever comments, and those comments will actually show up visually in your timeline in the marker. So that'll really help you out, I think.
Yes. Girl.
Yes. Well, okay, so I know music videos is like you're usually working with one audio track, but what about something that has a lot of layers of audio? Is there any quick tip that you can give us for working with a lot of audio layers?
Yeah, so I actually had to use this hotkey when I was working on a project for Tinder called Swipe Night. And the agency and the client really wanted you to feel like you were right in the action with the characters. So I had probably like 15 layers of audio, sound effects, dialogue, music, all of it. And my hotkey to change the audio gain is G. And so I can select any clip or multiple clips and hit G and just adjust the gain across all of them. So that was really, really helpful, really fast, and it made everything just run so much more smoothly.
And I will definitely show the hotkeys for that. I'm going to leave with just one question. This is from the chat room, Neo Ray, and this is just like a lifestyle question, I guess. How do you avoid fatigue while going through multiple takes for a music video?
Neil, thank you for the question. And that's definitely something that I've had to process and figure out on my own over the years. But I think breaks are key. It's okay to stand up and go get some water, to take a 20-minute walk. I know this is a huge discussion. Yep, we got our water here. It's a huge discussion in the post-production community, and I really believe that it's very important to take your breaks. Don't feel bad about taking your breaks, and just let your eyes rest when they need to rest. We're only human, and editors are human.
100%. Well, with that, I just want to say a big thank you to Taylor for coming on out and giving us a little bit of your mind. If people want to find your work, take a look at what you've done, learn more about you, where can they go do that?
Social media, Twitter, Taylor T. Walsh, and also my website is taylortracywalsh.com.
There we go. Thank you, Taylor. Thanks
Yes,
for being
thank
here.
you. Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. So that was our chat with Taylor Tracy. I hope you enjoyed that. She is truly one of the best music video editors, best editors, period, working today. And she gave a lot of great tips, which I will actually cover in this tutorial. I just want to remind people who have just joined that you can find all of the documentation for this tutorial, all of the notes, so you don't actually have to take any notes. I already did all of the notes for you. If you go to adobe.ly/tipstuesday, and you can also get signed up to win a full year of Creative Cloud. So that's 12 months of Adobe Creative Cloud, the full suite, if you go to adobe.ly/tipstuesday. Also, there is a contest going on right now with Marshmello, the artist. He and Halsey released a song recently that's called Be Kind, and they teamed up with Adobe to create this contest where you can submit your video of how you are being kind to others or how you were kind in the past. You can use some of their assets like the actual song, some graphics, some overlays. Here's some information about it. And you can win up to $10,000. So it's a pretty awesome contest. You can go to the Adobe website to check it out. I will be using a bunch of their assets in this tutorial. And again, if you have any kind of feedback for me as far as if you want me to repeat anything, if you think the audio is off, if anything is off, I'm doing my very, very best. But if something happens, please let me know. I'm also monitoring the chat room. And John says the PDF with the tips and tricks from the live stream is so good. Thank you, John. It is. I worked really, really hard on it. So it has all of the information that you need for it. So with that said, let's just jump straight into our tutorial. So hopefully everything works. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can see my mouse on the screen here. Okay, so this is a project that I shot 2 years ago. So before the lockdown, so don't come for me. This footage is really old. And I want to thank Monique Coleman, Chloe Thompson, Alicia Thompson for letting me use this footage. So shout out to them. So this is footage from a charity event that I shot. And it has, here I have my audio, my footage, my graphics, and my sequences. So if I go into my footage folder, I have 2 different cameras. If I go into each camera, I can double click and I can see the thumbnails from that camera. But I'm going to go into my sequences bin. And then I'm going to go down to new item here at the bottom. I'm going to click new item, click sequence. And I'm going to create a new sequence. And I'm going to call this charity video for Chloe. And just make sure that the settings are correct. We have 23.976 frames per second, frame size of 1920 by 1080, and square pixels. So I'm going to press OK. And here we have our sequence and our timeline. I'm going to go to footage and I'm going to find my A-roll, which is my the video clip that I'm going to put underneath of everything. And I'm going to put it into the timeline. It's going to say that the clip does not match the settings because it's a 4K clip, but I'm going to say keep the settings of the timeline. And then I can see the clip here. Now to make it the same size as my timeline, as you can see right now, hold on. Right now, if I click on it, the motion controls, you can see it's way too big. So I can make it smaller, or to make it fit completely, I can right click and go to scale to frame size, or I can do the shortcut for it. and I can just scale it to frame size. So here I am, I've scaled it to frame size, and I'm just going to go through and cut this up so that it makes sense for the duration of the video. I want something around 40 seconds. She talks for 3 minutes here. So I'm just going to go through, listen to it, and cut it up.
Hi, my name's Chloe Thompson, and today we are here at the Motivated Productions.
Let me know if you can hear that. Hopefully you can.
Hi, my name's Chloe Thompson, and today we are here at the Motivated Productions.
You can just say, today we're here in downtown LA. That's it.
Okay.
So this is where she starts. I'm just going to press Command K to insert a cut, or I can just press Q and that gets rid of everything before my playhead.
Hi, my name's Chloe, and today we're here in downtown LA, and we're here for the Project Cares tour.
There was a plane, so let's go to here where I can see she starts again. I'm kind of just looking down here and noticing that there's a bunch of non-speaking over here, so I can just disregard that and put my playhead exactly where it starts again. I'm going to press Q again.
Hi, my name is Chloe Thompson, and today we're here in downtown LA for the Project Cares tour kickoff. And the Project Cares tour is me and my friend Jaquil. We're going to be going from state to state.
So I'm just going to do where she says kickoff.
In downtown LA.
That's it, in downtown LA.
For the Project Cares tour kickoff.
So I can press Command K to insert a cut and keep listening.
Is me and my friend Jaquil. We're going to be going from state to state, doing different service projects, and LA is our first stop, and this is our kickoff for it. And today we are having...
So I'm going to start with today we are having.
And
I can go left and right on my keyboard to go one frame over and then press Q again and cut all that out.
Project Cares tour kickoff. Today we are having...
You know what? I only have 45 minutes to give you this tutorial. So I'm going to go back to my sequences folder, and I've already made a sequence of all of the A-roll cut. So here is all of that A-roll cut.
Hi, my name is Chloe Thompson, and today we're here in downtown LA for the Project Cares tour kickoff. Basically what I do is I make bags and I fill it with like deodorant, soap, toothbrushes, and toothpaste.
So this is the order that she spoke in, right? But I realized that actually I need to reorganize this a little bit because this middle section, this pink section, I actually want it to go in between my my orange clip and my green clip. So one thing that a lot of editors do when they do this, they will do something like this. They'll drag this out, then they'll drag this in, then they'll drag this out, then they'll put this in, and then they'll drag it back, right? That's like 1,000 steps. So instead, here's what you can do. You can just click on the clip, you can start dragging it, and then you can hold down Option Alt and Command, right? And that will just rearrange and ripple the clips. So again, you could just take this, hold down Option Alt and Command, and that will rearrange your clips. Really, really easy. So let's go to the sequence I have when it's all reorganized. So this is what I want. And now I'm going to put the music in. Unfortunately, I can't actually play the music for you because it's copyrighted, but just pretend like that you can hear the music. If you want to do this yourself, you can use the music. The assets are all available for you right here. This is the Be Kind song from the Marshmallow contest. So I'm going to go and I'm in my music, in my audio folder, I have a music folder. And then that's Be Kind right there. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it into my timeline. And it is this green music clip right here. 1 second. Okay, so now what I can do is I can trim it to the length that I want. So I can mute the video track for a sec. So I'll just click this mute button right here. And I can lock the video track so I don't hear it and I can't access it in any way. So now I'm just playing with the music track here. And I'm going to come in and I know that she starts talking, she starts saying something important right around here. So I want this beat here to drop at the same time as she starts saying something important. So I want to line up this with this. So what I'm going to do is just cut this off here, move it over, and then extend it. And hopefully, again, I can't play it for you, but let's pretend that it sounds really good. Then I want to make it shorter. So what I'll do is I'll cut the end off here and I'll bring it onto my A3 track. And then what I'll want to do is I want to find a way to play the tracks at the same time. Right now they are going to play at the same time, but as I'm playing the track, I want to scoot this bottom layer 1 frame back and 1 frame over, back and forth until I get a sync happening, until as I'm playing through, the song syncs. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm not going to actually show it because it's copyrighted, but what I'm going to do is as the song plays, I'm going to hold the Alt button and then go left and right on my keyboard. And that will actually kind of push the song back and forth. Here, what if I zoom in on the end? You'll be able to see it. So I'm holding the Alt button and I'm pushing the song at the bottom back and forth until I get the perfect alignment of my song. So whereas if you click right and left on your keyboard, it will move your playhead right and left. When you have selected a clip and that clip is selected and you hold Alt or Option and you click right and left, it will just nudge the clip back and forth. So let's pretend that I have here already nudged the clip. It's perfect right where it is. And now I want to bring it up a track, right? I can just drag it up, but who knows if I'm dragging it, perfectly. Maybe my snapping, which is right here, is accidentally turned off. And maybe it's not going to snap perfectly. So if the snapping is turned off, see, I want to try to drag it up, but it's not exact, right? So instead, what I'll do is I'll just select it. I'll press Alt, I'll hold down Alt, and then I'll just go up on that clip. And that means that the clip will jump 1 track up directly. And then I can go ahead and get rid of whatever's trailing behind. So let's pretend that this clip is lined up here, right? I'll get rid of everything that's trailing behind. I'll go to my effects here. And this is actually under audio transitions crossfade. I'm going to use constant power as the crossfade in order to make sure that that track is nicely crossfaded, that there's no pops or plosions or anything like that. But let's go back to, right here. So I have, do that. Okay, so here I have the music and it's all arranged. It's lined up. I promise it is. Maybe I'll play like one second of it. See, it just sounds like the whole song. And I have kind of rearranged the clips at the top a little bit so that there's this big hole in the middle. Right? This is where I'm going to have that B-roll, that extra footage that we shot that day really shine through. So instead of, before I put that B-roll in, I kind of want to know where should I put that B-roll in? And this is something that I was talking about with Taylor. Neo Ray asks, how does it sync? It synced because I had to skip that step because I couldn't actually play the music, but it synced because when you listen through to the song, you press the space bar, and then as the bottom one is selected, you nudge it back and forth until it is synced, until you hear it syncing. So then now I'm here and I want to put a bunch of B-roll footage here. But first of all, I want to know, what is this music track? How is this music track working? So in order to do that, I can use markers. So I can listen through to the song and say, okay, here, for example, at this part in the music, this is where the emotional part should start, right? So let me actually delete this marker. So this is where the emotional part of the song should start. So I'm going to press M, and that's going to create a marker. You see it being created right here. All I did was press M, and then I'm going to right click on the marker and go to Edit Marker. And now I can name the markers. This is exactly what Taylor was just talking about. I can name the marker. So I'm going to say this is the beat drop, and I can even write what the lyrics are, right? You're holding on, ... I can give it a duration. So for now, I'm just going to give it a duration of like 3 seconds. I can give it a marker color, and I'm going to make this a segmentation marker. I'm going to press OK. So now it has appeared right here, beat drop, but I can always change the duration of it by just extending it. So I'm going to say the beat dropped here and it ends like there. And then maybe here I can also visually see that that's where the music starts, but maybe I want to put another marker here, and I can go, edit marker, and I can say music starts. I'm going to make it orange, give it a duration of some sort, do that. You can also, as you're listening through to the song, I'm going to mute the song so that we don't get copyright strikes, but as you're listening through the song and you hear the beat drop, you can just keep your finger on the M, and as the beat is dropping, you can go da 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 da. So every time the beat drops, you can put a little marker here so you can see, oh, hello. So you can see they're appearing, right? One sec. So you can see they're appearing right here. You can see them 1, 2, 3. And now when you're placing your clips in your timeline, they're going to snap to those markers. They're going to snap to the exact beat, which is super fun. We have Leah says you can also double click on the marker and the same edit box will come up. Yes, you can double click on all of these markers and the same edit box will come up, and you don't have to name it. You don't have to give it a duration. It could also just be a point marker if you want it to, which is really important. So let's say that my music is, one quick thing I want to say is, okay, so now you have your audio here. So this is your dialogue audio right here. So this is your dialogue audio, and this is your music, right? And now you want the part where it's just the music to be a little bit louder, because the dialogue audio goes on top of music that's a little bit softer so that you can actually hear it. But when it's just music, you want it to be louder. So the long way to do this is to hold down Command and place a keyframe, hold down Command again and place another keyframe, and then move the volume line up, right? Then you can hold down Command, press a keyframe, hold down Command, press another keyframe, and move the volume line up like this. So let me do that one more time for you. So this is like the manual, old school way to do it, right? You press this, move the volume line up, this, move that volume line up. So this creates what we call a ramp on both sides of the audio. But say you have something like a vlog or something where you have to do this a lot. Maybe you have to do this 20 times, 30 times. And every time, maybe the audio's from different sources, maybe there's a lot of issues, and you don't have to do this every single week for your YouTube video and every single time that you have to do anything, right? So there's an easier way to do this. So let me undo everything. And it does it automatically. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Window, Essential Sound, and that pulls up the Essential Sound panel. Hopefully you can see it there on the right. Let me move myself up to the top. So you can see the Essential Sound panel here on the right. By the way, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Just making sure that everything's okay, because I've had some streaming problems before and I don't want to have that again. So you can select all of the clips that are the dialogue clips and assign them as dialogue by clicking on dialogue. But also another tip that I have for you is, say you have a clip that is linked. So the audio is linked to the video, meaning that you have the little V here in brackets. Do you see that little V right here? And it's in brackets. Oh, that brush is way too big. me try. Yeah, that little V there is in brackets. So instead of unlinking, you know, by going right click, unlink, so now that V isn't in brackets, and now you can select the audio independently of the video, what you can just do is hold down Option or Alt and just select the audio if you wanted to. Again, for this one, it doesn't make so much of a difference, but that's a little tip for you. So let's say I selected all of the audio and I marked it as dialogue. I'm just going to go up to the top here where it has the essential sound panel. I'm going to mark it as dialogue. And hopefully you can see my entire screen. Give me a sec. I think maybe it's a little zoomed in. Let's do that. There, now you can see it. So now you can see my screen and it has a bunch of options here. So I can go to, for example, repair. I can reduce the noise. It was quite windy outside. I can reduce the rumble. I can give it, you know, I can go to, let's see here. I can go to clarity. I can enhance the speech for a female. So I can do a bunch of really cool enhancements in the essential sound panel. And actually, I'm going to do an entire full workshop like this on how to sweeten your sound for video. So come back for that. And again, if you want all of these tips, you can go here for replays of all of these tutorials, because I know I'm going through them quite fast, and for the PDF manuals of everything I'm doing. And I'm literally just showing you what's here, right? So you can go to this website for that. Go ahead and check it out. But back to this. So I have just assigned this audio as dialogue, and I have sweetened it a little bit with the controls in the essential sound panel up here. Now I'm going to select the music, and I'm going to assign it as, you guessed it, music. And then you can go to this section called ducking right here. And we're talking about ducking as in, look out, duck under that bridge, and not quack, quack, ducking, right? We're talking about like ducking underneath other audio. So we're going to select ducking, and we're going to say duck against dialogue. We're going to do the sensitivity. Let's do it pretty high. We're going to do the duck amount is fine, -18, and we're going to do the fades pretty fast. And we're going to do the fades pretty fast, and then we're going to generate those keyframes. And take a look at that. Remember what we had to do manually before? Now it created those keyframes for us. But as you can see, that that angle is pretty rough. So I'm going to redo it. I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to say that the fades, they can be a little bit slower. And I'm going to regenerate those keyframes and see how it made the fades slower. Now that angle, that ramp of that volume is a little bit less harsh. I'm going to make them even slower, and I'm going to make the duck amount a little bit less dramatic. And I'm going to change the clip volume of the entire thing and make it lower. I'm going to say generate keyframes. And there we go. Now the whole thing has adjusted. So you can go ahead and you can play around with the levels and see and make sure that it all makes sense. One other thing that I want to talk about is the area between each dialogue clip. So right now, I actually have, what you can see is a little tiny constant power ramp in between each dialogue clip. It's a 2-frame fade. And how did I do that? Well, let me tell you. First, let me delete them so I can show you how I did that. So a lot of times, let me mute this and let's listen to it. And hopefully you can hear maybe a little bit of a pop situation happening.
In LA for the Project Cares tour kickoff. Basically what I do.
You hear that little breath that she did?
Tour kickoff. Basically what I do is.
Let's go to this one.
Women and men. So like here we're packing.
So sometimes when you cut dialogue, there's little pops or there's little snips, and you want to insert a transition there. So one way to insert the transition is you just go to your, let's pretend that there's a lot of cuts, right? So let's actually cut this up quite a bit. Let's just pretend there's a lot of cuts. There's not really, but let's pretend. So we can go to our effects, and you can always make favorites here. So I have my little folder of favorites, and I have the constant power effect here as well. You can again find it in audio effects or audio transitions, and it's here, constant power, but I like to have it in favorites. So I'm just going to drag it in between two of the audio clips here. I'm going to click on it. As a default, it is 1 second long. You can see the duration up here in the effect controls panel. But instead, I'm going to make it 2 frames long. So it's really, really small, really, really tiny, 2 frames. So now I just have the effect. Too many keyboard shortcuts for me. So now I just have the effect across 2 frames, right? So I can click the effect, Command copy the effect. So now it's in my clipboard. And now I can select just the cuts in the music by holding down Command and dragging a marquee box around. So now I've selected just the cuts. And then I can paste Command V. And now that 2 frame transition has been applied in between all of the cuts on my timeline. This is super useful for if you're vlogging or something like that, and you need to just smooth out your audio across the whole thing. Awesome. So again, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat room. So let's go to where the music is done. Everything is done. So this is what it looks like now. I have those fades right here. I have all of my fades there. So everything is good. Now it's time for me to be doing B-roll. This is a technique that Taylor talked about, which is called pancaking the timelines. So I'll go to my sequence that just has B-roll, nothing else. And again, B-roll is all the additional footage. I made a string out of it. Here's that string out. So this is all of my B-roll, all of that additional footage from the day when Chloe was delivering care bags to the women's shelter here in Los Angeles. This is her making the care bags. This is, the purple clips are actually from a different camera. And I just wanted to, annotate that they were from a different camera. So I changed their color. I just selected them and I went to label and I just changed their color. So I would know later for when I was color correcting. So now what you can do is you can pancake those timelines. So the one with the music done is here. I'm just going to drag it underneath and now they're pancaked. Now I can see both timelines at the same time. So I can plug those B-roll clips into the timeline wherever I need. So for example, let's mute the music. Let's listen to what she's saying.
Hi, my name is Chloe Thompson, and today we're here in downtown LA.
So she says downtown LA. Let me see if there's anything here that could indicate downtown LA. Well, we have some driving on the street here. Yeah, perfect. So we have some driving on the street right there. So I'm going to drag this clip into my timeline there. So now I have that B-roll clip on V2, and just so that we don't touch V1, because right now it's synced to the music, everything is perfect, I'm going to lock both the audio and the video tracks. Just so I don't touch them, I'm also going to lock the music tracks. I'm going to put locks in everything, so we're just focusing on B-roll. Now she says,
hi, my name is Chloe Thompson, and today we're here in...
So right when she starts saying downtown LA, I'm going to move that clip in.
Downtown LA.
Downtown LA. I'm going to cut that clip, Command K, and delete, right? But take a look at the portion of the clip that I'm using. Let me show it to you a little bit more. This clip has, tense and stuff in it, but the portion that I'm using doesn't have those tense. So what I can do is instead of, okay, let me drag this out, let me find the portion with the tents, let me cut that, let me bring that forward, then let me cut that, let me delete that. That's a lot of work again. So instead, I'm going to keep this same clip here because I know that this is the duration that I need.
Here in downtown LA.
And I'm going to slip tool underneath the clip. So I'm just going to press Y, that changes it to the slip tool, and I'm hovering my mouse over the clip. I'm going to click and then drag left and right and see what happens here at the top. Let's do that again. Here at the top, right here, this indicator, it'll start showing me which frame of the clip is the beginning of the clip and which frame of the clip is the end of the clip. And it'll allow me to choose a different portion of my clip within the clip without changing the duration or the location of that clip on the timeline, if that makes sense. So I'm going to drag it to where you can start seeing the tents.
In downtown LA for the Project Cares.
Then she's talking about Project Cares. So let me bring in, some footage maybe from the beginning here. So here's a bunch of people setting up. So I'm just going to drag that in.
For the Project Cares.
Project Cares kickoff, maybe people, bringing in furniture and all that. I'm going to drag that in.
Cares tour kickoff. Basically.
So like that, right? And let's just say that I've done this a bunch of times and I've laid my B-roll out. So my B-roll is put in. Ta-da! There's all my B-roll. It's all been put in. It's working. Slipping, Megan says, slipping I always think of an old school paper scroll. Queen Sharon says, wow, this is so helpful. I'm so glad. Again, Queen Sharon, if you want to get the full actual notes of what I'm talking about with step-by-step guides and instructions, you can go to this link right here, and you can also see the replay of this video. And if you have any questions, you can always go to right here, twitter.com/AdobeCare. All right, so let's keep going. So let's, I've put in all of my B-roll here. So a couple of things to note. First of all, if you have two clips and you're not sure which one to use, you can stack them on top of each other and you can use the enable shortcut, or you can right click and go to enable and disable the clips. So right here I have this.
Make bags and I fill it with like deodorant, soap.
But maybe I want the option of the clip above it. So I'm just going to enable it by going to Shift E, which is my shortcut.
I make bags and I fill it with like deodorant.
What if I wanted to enable the top clip, but disable the bottom clip at the same time? Then I would select both of them and I would do Shift E, and that would flip which one is enabled, which one is disabled. So pretty cool. Same thing here. If I didn't want the top one to show through, I'll just disable it. And now the bottom one is showing through instead. A couple of other things you can do is, say you have a clip, like this yellow one, right? And you want to extend it to, let's say you want to extend it to this line right here. You can just do this, right? But that takes way too long. So right here underneath the tools, there's a bunch of other options. So you can do rolling edit and ripple edit. So let's take a look at ripple edit, which the shortcut is B. So if you click here and you ripple edit, it'll extend the length of that yellow clip. Let me zoom in. It'll extend the length of the yellow clip, but it'll push all of the clips on the timeline back, right? And you don't want that because everything is already timed out. All you want to do is extend that yellow clip over to your playhead and overwrite the beginning of this blue clip. So instead of the ripple tool, I'm going to go to the rolling edit tool, which is N, and then I'm going to roll that edit over. So now I have extended that yellow clip to the timeline. Let's do that again. So I'm just going to press N. That's the rolling edit tool. And then I'm just going to move that over. How cool is that, right? Kat says, I knew about the tool, but not how to use it effectively. You are welcome, Kat. I'm glad I could help you. So another thing you might be thinking of is, you have all of this blank space between. Why don't you just take all of these clips? Sorry. Why don't you just take all these clips and move them down? You can, but I like having my clips on different layers, and this is why. Sometimes it helps to have all of your A-roll clips on one layer, all of your B-roll clips on another layer, so you can adjust things. For example, let's go to where my B-roll is finished. So this is where all of my B-roll is finished. And as you can see at the beginning here, I've added a little manual fade as well to the music. So right here, you can see I've added a manual fade because the beginning part of the music, all of this part, is pretty quiet. So I've just done the same thing I did before, where you place you go command click, you create a keyframe, you go command click, you can create another keyframe, and then you can move things around. So that's exactly what I did here at the beginning. But anyway, so I have my whole thing here, and say I wanted to, everything on the A track or everything on the V1 track over here, this is all A-roll. It's all from the same camera. It's all colored the exact same. Say I want to apply color correction to all of that at once. I can, because I've placed all of my B-roll in separate tracks above. So what I'll do is I'll select all my B-roll again. I'll move all of my B-roll up one track by holding down Alt and Option, moving it up one track. So now I have this empty track here, V2, where I can put an adjustment layer. So I'll go into my graphics folder, select my graphics folder, go down here to New Item, and it'll allow me to create a new adjustment layer. So here's that adjustment layer. I will drag it in and extend it across the whole thing. And an adjustment layer is something that I can put effects on, and it's going to affect everything underneath it, but not above it, right? So then I can go into Window, Lumetri Color, and I can go ahead and I can start playing around. I can add more contrast. I can deepen the shadows. I can add more saturation. I can add the highlights back in, a little bit more exposure. The black's a little bit lower, and check that out. You can make this adjustment layer really skinny so that you don't really see it. So now you can turn it on and off and toggle the adjustment layer on and off. Really cool. So next, what I want to do is, there is this contest, the Marshmallow video contest, where you can not only win money, but you can also be part of Marshmallow's new video, which is really cool. And when you go on the website and you sign up and you download the assets, not only do they give you the song, but they also give you a bunch of graphics and a bunch of overlays. So I want to show you just really quickly how you can use that overlay in your video, specifically as a transition. So let's go back into our timeline. This is what we're working with. And we have this little area where we go from Chloe talking to the B-roll. And it looks like this.
Switching things. We're going to pack and then give out, then pack, then give out.
So it goes from her talking on her A-roll to her B-roll. And I want to put a piece of graphics up here to kind of transition us from one to the other. So I'll go into my graphics folder here, and there's a bunch of fun graphics that are included with the package. I'll go into overlays, and they have all of these fun overlays like film grain or light trickling in, a bunch of different ones. So I'm going to go into the light leaks, and I'm going to try to find a spot in it where it's almost fully black. So maybe there. I'm going to press I as the endpoint. Then hopefully it doesn't take too long to get back to black. No, I want a quick one. So I'll start here. So this is where it's mostly black. Then it goes to white, and then it goes back to black again. So right when it goes back to black, I'm going to press O. So that's the out point and the in point. Then I can drag the entire thing over. Now, say you have something that has both audio and video, you can just hold underneath. It says drag video only. So I can drag just the video over my transition right here. So let me zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. So this is where my light leak, it's pink. So this is where my light leak went, right here. But as you can see, it's not see-through. The video itself is black, and then it goes to white, and then it goes back to black. So how do I use that? How do I make it a transition? I just click on it, and I go up to the top left here. There's a effect controls panel. So you can put controls on this clip. So I'm going to click effect controls, and I'm going to go down to the opacity effect control right here, opacity, and there is a blend mode option right there. So in the blend mode option, I'm going to go to the drop down menu, and I'm going to choose screen. And now by choosing screen, hello, everything behind it will be see-through. Everything that was black is now see-through. It's a little bit small, so maybe I can just scale it up a little bit underneath the motion controls right here. So I'll just drag the scale up a little bit to fill the whole frame. Maybe a little bit smaller. There it is. So now it'll look like this.
Gonna pack and then give out, then pack, then give out.
Cool, right? So I just did that, and I used
then
that
pack,
as my
then give out.
transition. Let me know if you have any questions, because I would love to know if you want me to repeat anything. If you have any questions, also let me know if you find this useful, if you want me to keep doing more of these. I didn't get to, I feel like I got to almost everything that I had outlined that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, audio crossfade. Oh, changing volumes. Okay, that's really easy. One last tip. Just this once, say you want to change the volume on an individual audio clip. You can do this really easily by using the bracket keys to change the volume. So take a look here. Let me zoom in. So say I want to change the volume of just the orange clip. Take a look at this line right here. This represents the volume. Wait a sec. Why is my indicator so huge? There we go. So last little tip, straight from Taylor Tracy. So this is the line that indicates the volume. With the orange clip selected, I'm just going to press bracket, right bracket. And I'm going to move that volume line up. Left bracket, I'm going to move that volume line down. Those are the default shortcuts there. And that's all I have time for. As far as in the tutorial, yeah, I'm pretty sure I covered everything that you needed to know for this time around. The final video, this video that I'm making right now with the proper music, I'm gonna probably post later today on my Instagram account, valentina.vee, so you can actually see what it is. So yeah, that's, hold on. Will this work? No, I don't know. I don't know if you're seeing my name on the screen, probably not. But anyway, valentina.vee is where I'm going to post it so you can see it with the music and you can be like, wow, I watched her edit that whole thing. How amazing is that? If you have any questions or if you want to talk to other people in the community, check out other live streams that are going on. You can go to community.adobe.com. You can also, if you have any questions about Adobe programs or you need technical support, you can go to twitter.com/AdobeCare. And if you want to see my face again, you can come back next Tuesday, tell your friends, go ahead and go to this website right here. This is a secret link just for people who join this live stream so that you can go and get a replay of this tutorial, rewatch it. There's 3 other tutorials up there. so you can go and learn even more. I think this is the perfect time for all of us to be upping our skills, to take this time to just become better at our craft. And I really hope that I've helped you do that. Until next time, bye.